and Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
You were recording.
I was not recording. No, and see, here's the thing now. I don't have to record.
You were.
No, I don't.
Yes, you were.
So for me, I was not.
Because
So
I saw the number come up and it says 144.
No,
You've been recording
it's 53 seconds. It's 50. Listen, I don't have to record you doing things now just for me to get the satisfaction out of it, because now you're worried about me recording even when I'm not recording, and you getting all tense about it is the satisfaction that I need. So I'm good.
No, I
didn't. I swear to God, I
appreciate that, but I think you were recording anyway.
I swear to my kids' lives, I was not recording just now.
All right, okay.
I did not record you singing. I know I would, but I don't have to now, because just the fact of your concern about it.
Because I was worried that my Doobie Brothers was going to end up starting the show.
So now I don't have to record you because I get the satisfaction out of your concern from it. So
fool would see trying. Yeah, okay. Just making sure, and I'm allowed.
See, you're 100% allowed to question my motives. Yes.
No. I look. This is a fact. Now we'll get to it later. What we got to talk about right now is my meatball tendencies.
Wait, no, you're going to forget later. What's the fact?
I'm not going to. I'm not allowed to. My kids and my wife hate my random singing, and
I don't mind it though,
and I love it.
Yes,
I love to just make up songs. I was doing it in the hallway at work yesterday.
Yes,
because as I was walking out of our studio, and Janda Lane was coming down because Dingus and Flingus were leaving the morning show, and then she comes walking down the hall, and I just started singing, "Here comes Janda, she's gonna spin records and will rock and roll." And I see something and I make up a song about it.
Yeah, so I do the same thing, so it doesn't bother me when you sing.
Okay,
I know it bothers your entire family.
Oh, to no end.
Yes, I don't mind it. I just don't like when you're being serious and talking.
Well, yeah, hang in there for the next hour or so. Just do me a favor. Just see if you can keep your tolerance level high for just give me another
just to stay. Yeah, I can
6 minutes.
I'll do that. I like you, so it's fine.
Yeah, okay, all good. We're brought to you today by Russ Armstrong and Chicago Window Guys here on 312 Sports. He'll match any price. He'll explain why these buy one, get one free things that you hear from Big Window are kind of BS. More than kind of. So call him and just get really good windows at the best price and make it easy on yourself. 847-302-9171. And check out his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com. Watching the game last night and then looking at the national narrative and national headlines, I have to be open and honest about feeling a little meatball-y today. It's the Sox fan in me. It's Sox fan DNA does this. Sox fan DNA makes you insecure about how people view you. It makes you always compare yourself to other things. It makes you always feel like you're getting the short end of the stick or people ignore you. And there's a Sox fan hardwiring that you never escape. It's part of being a Sox fan, is feeling everybody's out to get you and you like your team better than anybody else likes your team. It's part of it. So when I watched that Cubs game last night and thought that, hey, I don't usually get comfortable talking about statement games or marking point games, but man, that was one of them. And I thought, revamped Chicago Cubs, remodeled go for it Chicago Cubs beat Tarik Skubal. I thought that was the headline. Tarik Skubal makes his Dodgers debut, loses to Cubs. Pitches well, but loses to Cubs at Wrigley. And there was barely a mention of the Cubs. CBSSports.com, ESPN. I didn't check what MLB.com says. The official house organ. I'd love to know, because that seems to be the story. Skubal strikes out 6, pitches well, but loses. To who?
Here's MLB.com. It's the second story down. Tarik Skubal fans 6 in Dodgers debut.
What are we doing? They played somebody. Did I miss everything that was going on last night? Because I certainly thought that there was a a different kind of energy at Wrigley. And I
Now,
hope
if you go to their latest news stories, they have their latest topics in order. So this is a smaller headline. The first one on that, though, it does say Cubs spoil Skubal's debut.
Aw, how dare they?
Yeah.
How dare they? How dare those pesky Cubs spoil Skubal's debut? What is being tacitly rooted for here? That's really interesting to me, especially because, and especially at MLB.com. Did you see, by the way, the airplane, the message that was being dragged through the sky at Wrigley Field?
The
That there was
upside down message?
Yes, there was a plane flying overhead. Did you see this?
Yes.
It said the Dodgers are ruining baseball, but it got flipped. So it was upside down. So it didn't really hit home unless people were somehow seeing it from above. So I don't know who paid for that. My guess is MLB did. That's the propaganda that they're clinging to, going into a work stoppage, going into a lockout for a salary cap.
No way. No way. Really?
Yeah, some proxy of MLB, sure.
Oh, I just thought it was some idiot that's got enough money to do that. Or enough money to waste, I'm sure. Okay.
I didn't. My first thought was that is a propaganda salvo paid for by the league. Just to spread make it look populist. And am I being weird?
No, you're not being weird. I mean, my brain didn't even go there. I just thought it was some idiot who doesn't know any better about baseball and has money to waste on something like that. Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of money to be an idiot. Those things aren't cheap. And my thought was it was some proxy of MLB who would just they can have enough layers in there where they can spit out a couple $1,000s and fly that because it's a really important narrative for them. It's critical to what they're trying to convince people is happening in their labor battle because, we can't lock in our profits because we're being asked to compete. We're being forced to spend money to try to bring in good players to try to win, and we can't have that. So we have to have a salary cap where we don't really have to compete as hard anymore.
Here's the headlines from the LA Times. Dodgers squander Tarik Skubal's quality start and team debut.
Okay. And I know that he is obviously the big story of the deadline, but I think the Cubs have earned a little bit of agency and attention and something other than being Skubal's opponent last night. There was an email that came in that I want to read because I do think it properly kind of called me out on something and established that that sometimes there's a way to look at things that makes you think about how we talk about some of these games, how we talk about some of these moments. Because I will say, before I thought about anything, that felt to me like a big night in a packed Wrigley Field that felt crackly. And I wasn't there; I was just down the street. But the intensity of the crowd's response, the awareness of everything that was going on, seemed to feel like, hey, okay, Skubal, congratulations, Death Star, Evil Empire, whatever you want to say they are. But there's another baseball team here, too, that has got a lot of tough outs in it. And you got to go through this lineup 3 times. And they made it tough on it. They beat him. And yet no credit was given to, hey, look what the Cubs did at the deadline. They get the vote of confidence from the president of baseball operations, who essentially saying, we think this team can win a World Series. And they go out and win and put themselves in a position to try to sweep them. And it's still about Skubal strikes out 6.
Yeah, this is from the Los Angeles Daily News. Dodgers give Tarik Skubal little run support in debut, lose 5th straight. Like this is it's a big story. That's their longest losing streak of the season, 5 in a row after getting swept at home by the Red Sox. You lose 2 at Wrigley, and this guy is brought in to be a stopper for you, to be your guy. I mean, this is the 2-time AL Cy Young Award winner,
and he gets beat on a start for you on a Baltimore chop.
Yes. Oh, yep. Yes.
He gets on a classic Baltimore chop. He gets beat, but that same guy hit a home run again.
It's funny, Dan. Natalie and I are watching the game, and she's like, Cub fans did that by booing him. He's going to hit a home run. And I was like, you know what? I almost took him and our picks to sit back, relax, and strap it on yesterday.
Well, he's been taken already today. The Nico has been taken.
I was gonna take Kyle Tucker.
You can't
yesterday.
take Kyle Tucker. You can't take an opponent.
I can take anybody I want.
I don't think whoa.
We never established rules. I can take whoever I want to strap it on. Sure, I can.
Okay, well,
I didn't, though. I'm just saying.
No,
you want to fight me on that? We can.
He did, and he pointed. I don't know what the point was. No, I'm not gonna fight anybody.
Oh, there's probably. I'm sure there's Dodger fans. I don't think he doesn't give a fuck if people boo him.
I don't think he really cares at all about any of this.
I don't think he cares if people cheer for him or boo him.
He's making $60 million this year.
To be bad.
$60 million to have a lower WAR than Pedro Ramirez. He did it again last night. He made another sparkling defensive play.
That dude's something.
And it was everybody in the dugout was when he went over there. Check, look, everything right with his eyes. I love his low heart rate, man. But here was the email, and I want to read this from Matt in Rockford. And this was during the game last night.
Okay.
Made me think. And it's an appropriate question to ask me. Matt said, I don't subscribe to Marquee. I typically listen to the games while following through the MLB app. And as I sit here, a 1-1 game through 5. And I started thinking about both clubs. The Dodgers and their ability to essentially obtain almost any player or players they wish with the promise of World Series appearances and wins. The Cubs, whose pitching staff has suffered significant losses over the course of the last year or so. I thought about the trade deadline, what Los Angeles got, the big fish, and what Chicago got, a few fish, but none the biggest overall. My question is this. Should the Cubs beat Skubal and the Dodgers tonight, would this be considered a statement win of this year, considering current circumstances? And my answer, sure. You can consider it whatever you want, really. But I just said sure, as long as there's no presumption that it affects future outcomes. Like, I think those are separate things. I think after the fact, you can categorize a win, and you can. That's what we do after the fact. We build narratives around these data points, and there are all sorts of symbols. You statement win, symbolic win. You have the confluence of a lot of events at a given time, and all I'll say is everyone at the park seemed to know it. Sometimes you just and then you had the emotional buildup stemming from the first game and from some of the booing and some of what's going on in the internal subplots between these two teams. You got a lot of fans paying attention. A lot. You got a lot of fans who are watching with a really critical eye, and it makes it so good. It makes everything matter more. And then Zephyr John comes in. Like that part of it too. When I saw him warming up, I was like, hell yeah, get to work. We know how to pronounce your name. Now get in there and let's see what you got. Stuff like that. That's why the deadline is fun. And all of a sudden, here's guys in new uniforms plying their trade against the team that you might see in the League Championship Series. So sure, call it a statement, call it a symbolic representation of the season coming to a head, or it just don't get too wrapped up in what it portends. Don't overstate the meaning of this and what it has to do with future outcomes. But by all means, you want to point to a game that's unfolding in front of you and start to think the story and feel that. Yeah, it's okay.
It was funny. I've had a lot of emotions, different emotional feelings as bullpen pitchers come up to pitch in Cubs games this year. It's the first time all year though that I was super excited. Like going into the game, Natalie and I were talking about it. I'm like, I can't wait to see this guy pitch. Like I just cannot wait to see this guy throw. I'm like, I hope he throws tonight. I hope he pitches.
Talking about Zephyr John.
About Zephyr John, yes. Yeah. I'm like, that's the first time all year a guy comes out of the room where Craig keeps all his pitchers and spins the wheel. The door opens, he walks out, and I'm like, okay, let's go. I want to see this stuff in a Cubs uniform.
Well, until Palencia comes back, because it was always, and obviously that was the guy who was doing things that seemingly everybody in every opposing bullpen is doing.
Yes.
And now the Cubs have one of those guys who doesn't necessarily have to fool people around the margins. Here's what I throw. Do something with it.
That sweeper is terrible.
Yeah, filthy.
Yes.
Filthy, filthy, filthy. And when you saw Shohei Ohtani miss it by a foot and nearly fall on his ass.
Yeah, dude, that thing started in the middle of the zone and ended up on top of his feet.
Yep. Yep.
It was great.
That's a back foot slider that stayed a strike for that long.
Oh, it was great.
There's a lot of guys that can throw a back foot slider. It's just how it gets there. That's what makes the difference. And that was a strike for a long time before it became very much not a strike. And that's the very definition of stuff. That is what and you can go to and look at Savant and look at spin rate and appreciate it in a way that gets you excited. But just look at it. Look at that swing. Look at that response. And you saw why everybody's excited about Zephyr John. So yeah, you could call the victory whatever you want, whatever a sweep would mean, whatever you think it does to knock the Dodgers down a little bit right now and on a losing streak, not playing great baseball. But the Cubs just pain your ass, man. Every at bat is somebody else who is making you execute pitches and making everybody work for everything. And that's in a series, it grinds. In a playoff series, it can grind. When you hit the ball out of the ballpark, you can pony up your relievers at 97, 98. You can bring in our friend Mrs. Bats and you can hit the ball out of the park. That is a recipe for playoff success. Mm-hmm. Now, I was flipping with the Sox game, and after the first inning, and you just get that kicked in the head feeling. Like, okay, here comes Davis Martin, and they've got a great well, this is bad. And then it makes everything bad. And apparently the story coming out of the Sox game is they had his pitches. And that Corey Lee was noticing that the Red Sox, who are notorious for doing this well, saw something. And now it's on you. Now it's on Zach Bove or whoever is, and it is Bove and not Beauvais, right? Like that weirdo Emile Beauvais. It is. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think it's just Zach Bove, but they had something, and if the Sox can figure out what it is, whether it is his hand in the glove, sometimes it is how it's watching a guy get a grip. That's very common right now. Of how is he squeezing the mitt? Is he digging in the glove for certain grips? And we were talking about this the other day when Roger Clemens on the national broadcast was pointing out a reliever starting out with the split finger grip and showing the split finger grip and holding it. And that way, once he gets into his glove, it's much easier to come off of a preloaded grip for which you have to dig. So it keeps you from seeing that somebody's trying to get a grip on the ball. This is all stuff that Davis Martin and the pitching infrastructure and Brian Bannister and everybody else, he's more developmental though, but they'll have to figure it out. Because if he's struggling, if he's getting placatad all around the yard like that, then they're in trouble. What I think is really important to remember about the White Sox is the ways that we use predictive metrics, projection metrics. And I'm not talking about just this year alone, the self-contained stuff from this year in individual players. When we're talking about expected WOBA, we're talking about some of these expected numbers because of how well a ball is being barreled, all valid. The Fangraphs playoff percentages. And we look here and we think, something still doesn't feel right about why some of these systems seem to not like the Sox as much. For the first time in a while, the Sox have moved ahead of the Guardians on Fangraphs right now as far as overall playoff percentage. The White Sox are 59 and 53. The Guardians are even at 57 and 57. The Twins are at 56 and 58, 4 back. The Tigers are 55 and 58, 4.5 back. This is a race. Make no mistake. The AL Central is a race. The Twins got some guys. The Tigers sold off their best pitcher. The Guardians got an all-star pitcher. The White Sox kind of tinkered around the edges, which I think is okay.
Tigers also sold off Casey Mize too, who starts tonight for San Diego. Yeah.
Yep. So the Tigers flat sold. And yet, when we look at Pacoda, for example, how does this shake out with the Pacoda playoff projections? And I'm going to tell you why this doesn't matter that much in a second. I'm just going to give you the numbers first. Pacoda still, as of today, they're run their Monte Carlos a million times. Cleveland wins the division, 83.7 and 78.3. They have the White Sox a game behind, 82.7 and 79.3. That is not a statistically meaningful difference. They have Cleveland's playoff percentage at 63.6 and the White Sox at 49.9, with Minnesota at 17.1. You think, wow, that really isn't giving the Sox a whole lot of credit. Okay, so what about third order record? What does that say about the performance this year? And this is why the Tigers selling off is embarrassing, because by third order record, and this is essentially Pythagorean calculation, this is your run differential, but the third order record also is strength of schedule. It isn't just what you did, it's against whom you've done it this year. And it does matter. Third order record has the Tigers in first place. Right now it's 63 and 50, and the White Sox in second place at a flat even 56 and 56. Guardians at 56 and 58. Then the Twins at 52 and 62. So we don't even talk about the Royals right now because they're bad and all the peripherals say they're bad. And yet, I'm going to tell you, don't worry about it. And I'm going to say that there is no reason to be pessimistic as a White Sox fan just because some of these projections say what they say. And that's because the Sox are breaking the modeling a little bit this year. And this is a good thing. Most models use recent past performance as a powerful predictor and as a really important input into the calculation, saying what have they done in recent years. So they are weighed down by those loss totals of 120 and 100 is just a millstone around their neck in these numbers. It doesn't give enough credit to what's made this year unique and fun and energetic and special in that regard has been the influx of all this new talent. It's been the blossoming of Vargas. It's been the revelation of Antonacci. It's been the solidification of Colson Montgomery as a rising star in the league, and the found money that is Murakami, and more. And the first half of Tristan Peters and whatever they can resurrect from that or keep going there. Also, the first half of Davis Martin. So I'm not saying there isn't reason for concern, but so much of what isn't believing the White Sox or underrating, and I'm throwing around all these terms when it's just numbers, and it's also okay to use these years of recent performance. That is part of having what has been, for the most part, successful projection metrics that are pretty good at this, because recent performance does matter. You also have had this managerial change. You have had coaching changes. Things are different with the White Sox. It's a different team. And a lot of because you had so much talent coming in right now that wasn't measured over the last 2 years. In a nutshell, the metrics are flying blinder on this. They're more blindly with the White Sox than they are with other teams in recent memory, especially recently improved and surprisingly good teams. The metrics just don't have the same validity because this team doesn't care about last year when they take the field. They don't care. They don't care about 2 years ago. Even if there were some guys around that were here, it doesn't matter because it's a lagging indicator that sometimes these things are late. And that's all right. That's going to make them smarter in the long run. It's going to make them more predictive and better algorithmically in the long run if it does take them a little bit of time to appreciate, because there are a lot of teams that will rocket out and then be drawn back. So no one's wrong here. This is not black and white. But if as the White Sox go, because I know how you think. I mentioned this with the Cubs stuff. Oh, they're all out to get us and the damn computers, and I'm shaking my fist at the heavens because these stuff. Oh, they're changing the code to make people not like the White Sox and forget that they won the World Series. I know that's being said somewhere. I trust that that's being said somewhere, but all it is a bit of a reasonable hole in the capabilities of some systems that take into account these previous years. And the White Sox are breaking out of that, breaking free of that, because this year's team is so different and has so many different players that really aren't taken into consideration. These projection metrics had no idea who or what Sam Antonacci is. And they could only model Murakami a little bit. And some of that was right and some of that was wrong. And a lot of that helped establish a pretty flaccid market for Murakami because of this, because of the stuff that Chris Getz was very comfortable talking about. Because I know he looks at him. He said it. He said, yeah, we punch these things into the systems. And he mentioned Fangraphs. You've got it right here. You got it on your phone. You can be sitting there in your cubicle and be looking at the same information that some people at the White Sox are referencing to say, yeah, we looked at this deal and that made us a couple of wins better and we need all the wins we can get. And this is how we're doing our business. All right. I'm good with that. So they're clearly more than right in it right now. However, it's going to be a race. There are going to be some fun times coming, I think, between the Guardians, the Twins, and the Sox. I think the Tigers will fade once we get a sense of what the rotation looks like, but stranger things have happened. And over this remaining sample of 50 games, we got about, a little less than a third of the season left. And who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I think if I'm correct here. I think the Sox have 6 left with the Guardians head to head, and then 3 with the Twins. So Twins have a little bit of a climber or a steeper hill to climb, where Guardians have 6 games with the White Sox. So they're gonna have to show up for those games. They can't have bad outings and tough performances. They're gonna have to be there and play tough.
And I'm not sure the Guardians can do what they've been doing and keep being the surprising team. I think the Sox are better. I love the way the Sox compete in every single at bat, and they just slug. You make a mistake to anybody in their lineup, and you could be looking up at the sky, because there's a possibility of punch up and down the lineup. They got to shore up the defense a little bit. They're certainly not a perfect team, and it is a decidedly down year in the American League. But don't let some of these supposedly forward-looking systems that are more backward-looking than we like to think, there's lag in these indicators. And I do think the Sox are an indication of a reasonable place where their previous year's performance is weighing on what's being projected. So aim higher, dream higher. It's okay. You don't need my permission to do that. But if somebody is coming at you and saying, well, actually, it is a completely fair response to say they don't know. They don't know what's going on with this team. They're not measuring really entirely what's going on with this team this year. Fair enough. When you need windows, you need to talk to Russ Armstrong. And the reason is because Russ is the owner of Chicago Window Guys. And you see it all the time. There's every time during games, windows. Everybody's talking about windows, and you see there's all sorts of ads out there. Some that are really kind of trippy and bizarre because of the AI in there. Well, Russ is just going to make it easy, where you don't have to talk to one of these national marketing companies that hooks you up with some local representative through big window and then funnels you to somebody else. It's Russ and his company and his factory and his people. This is as easy as it gets. And you call him, he comes out to your house, talks to you about stuff, and you put a plan together for the windows that you need at the price that you need. And then he goes and makes the windows at his factory here in Chicago, and then his people come and install them. There's a lifetime guarantee on parts and labor. And you know that at all points, I can tell you from experience, and the people will say this because I've recommended Russ to friends and family and coworkers long over these years, and they all say the same thing. They say, well, that was easy. That was really easy. It was way less expensive than I thought. If you want to feel that way with your Windows project, just call Russ and talk to him about it. 847-302-9171. Check out his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com. If you are getting quotes from other places, make sure you ask those sales reps, who's installing my windows, and see what the response is. Because if they're using third-party labor, they're not gonna know who's doing it. Russ does. It's his crew. So the same people that were in my house are going to be in your house, and you can rest easy knowing that. 847-302-9171, chicagowindowguys.com. Real quickly, and without getting into the weeds, I just a quick message to the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you hire a shithead, you're going to spend way more time than you want answering for the musings of a shithead. And ultimately it's going to pain everybody's ass. I don't know what the whole plan is when the Steelers said at the very end of his career, we are going to be the team that indulges Aaron Rodgers. Everything. Indulges him on the field, indulges the hissy fits, the secret play calls, the blaming everybody else, not to mention all the off-field insanity. So when Mike McCarthy, and then you hired Mike McCarthy. So when Mike McCarthy has to be answering for this guy, has to be the one who is there saying, well, what do you think of his comments about Anthony Fauci? Can I be, just full disclosure here, did you have any idea that the shitheads were still on about COVID? Like, I didn't even want to ask, what are we debating? What are we talking about? I had no clue. Like, this guy's 85 now. How old is Anthony Fauci?
Well, Dan, it's only because the lunatic RFK Jr. is talking about him still. He's still talking about him when he does his interviews.
What are we doing? What are
we doing? Living in the past and ruining the country.
About what? About vaccines? Like, again, anti-vax?
Yeah, about vaccines.
We're doing all this. And he sits next to Pat McAfee and goes on and on and on and on. The coach of the Steelers has to. There is a segment of conversation right now that is just bad faith. It's just it's this Aaron Rodgers stuff about. I don't even. If I knew what he was talking about, I would tell you. And straight up, when I have no idea what the hearings are trying to prove or say or do. I didn't know that the shitheads were locked in on something else from 6 years ago. And I don't get it at all. I don't know what your talking points are or your fever dreams or whatever is bubbling up out of the swamp. All I know is it got into my football in a way that I have to say, oh, what's going on? What? Okay. So it's still just Aaron Rodgers anti-vaccine bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've successfully brought back measles. So if you want your kid to die of measles because it has mutated because people don't really care about stopping it anymore, and we want to reverse one of the greatest achievements in modern medicine, okay, all right, have at it. I can't keep up. My bandwidth isn't there. I cannot keep up with the spittle frothing fever dreams of shitheads. So I'm not going to. And the same goes for all the made up stuff that's going on with all the WNBA stuff. I cannot. I don't have the energy for it. I don't. It's all performative. It's all performative. There are no trans people waiting in the wings to come take over the WNBA. I don't know where these made up people are coming from. It's all made up. It's all fantasy land. All of it. Seriously, there's somewhere you think that there's this organized group of trans women that is coming to take your precious sports? That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. Where are they? Who are these people that you're making up? I have to keep my girls safe. From who? From what? From where? What are you talking about? It's and you're foisting this on other people. Okay, it makes it impossible. It makes so much of this stuff impossible to keep up with the fever dreams and made up things from shitheads.
Well, Dan, that's how you win elections. You create a villain, and you pointed that made up villain and say, "This is why your lot in life is so tough. These people are to blame. These people are to blame." You don't look inward and take any accountability or responsibility for your own life, and you say these people are taking things away from you, and you make them afraid of them, even though they're created villains. And then that's how you get their votes and their support, even though you're ruining their lives the most.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's absolutely awful. The stuff that's being said out there to people who just want to live their lives and don't do anything. They have no effect on you whatsoever. It's a tiny, 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 infinitesimal percentage of our population that somehow has been whipped up into this marauding army of monsters coming in to steal the precious life force of your adorable daughters. And it's all made up. Stop. Just stop. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. It's in terrible faith. And it's a fantasy land that's infecting everything. And it's too bad. There was a great little story in baseball. The congratulations to the Lombard family, because brothers George Lombard and Jacob Lombard had quite a baseball night last night. George Lombard, a top Yankees prospect, in his
number 20 in baseball,
homered in his debut, in his second at bat. And his little brother, Jacob Lombard, homered in his second at bat in the Sally League? Where is he? He was in Class A, right?
Class A with the Cardinals organization. Yeah.
All right. So is that Peoria? No, that's Springfield anymore. I'm just wondering which is it? We're talking Midwest League, Sally League. Is it Short A out in the Northwest League? Is it Florida State League, California League, wherever it was? Jacob Lombard homered in his second at bat. So, man, as sports parents, I just wonder. Obviously, you're at Yankee Stadium. You got to be. You got to be there for the first kid. So, debut in Yankee Stadium. You got to be there, and then watching on your phone the second kid in Class A. Right? That's the right parenting move.
Yes. Yeah, I think
if you send mom. Do you do it like sending the vice president somewhere? Do you send does dad go to does mom, whoever loves the kid more? I think that's what it is. Whichever parent loves the kid more, goes to Yankee Stadium, and the parent loves the kid less. You got to. There has to be a definitive way to figure out who goes where.
I think it's fair that they both go. I think it's fair that they both go to Yankee Stadium. I mean,
what if it's a blended family and they hate each other?
But it's not though.
Okay, we're sure.
Yes, those are their two boys. Yes.
Okay, so they're still married, and they have the two boys, and they got to figure out, do they need a representative in both places, or do you say, honey, we're going to New York, and we're going to get a beautiful hotel room, and we're going to go to Norm's Pizza, and we're going to get a pastrami sandwich at Katz's Deli, and we're gonna walk all through Brooklyn, and while we're there, we'll go watch our son make his debut for the Yankees.
Yeah, I think it's fair, and I would hope the younger brother would understand why mom and dad go see his major league debut and not his first professional game in Single A.
We'll do it for you too, son. This is what we just like we did.
If he makes it.
Yeah, when you said you wanted to play on the big boy travel team, and we said, oh, you'll get your turn to play on the big boy travel team. Same goes for this. When you make your major league debut, we'll definitely come see you. Yeah. But that's pretty cool. I just think that's pretty neat that George and Jacob Lombard, remember those names, or as we say in Chicago, Lombard. I don't know why we do that, but I don't know why we pronounce Lombard like Lombard. It's Lom, not Lum, like lumbar vertebrae.
Yeah, but yeah, we always say Lombard.
I know.
Yeah.
Chicagoans from around there say Lombard. I always said Lombard. I didn't even know where the hell it was when I grew up.
Yeah, and if somebody says Lombard, we look at you like you're an idiot.
Okay, that's fine. You look at me like I'm an idiot anyway.
Yeah, but I'm going to Lombard. What are you going where? You mean Lombard? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't look. If you grow up where I grew up in the little bubble island of the North Shore.
Oh yeah, Lombard didn't even exist.
Might have been Siberia. Most of these, seriously, most of these people talk about like Cal City. That you might as well be in Morocco. Some of these places. I had every once in a while you'd be like, oh, so this is Carroll Stream. Okay, wow, exotic. I had no idea. You'd hear about like Midlothian or something, and it seemed like it was on the other side of the world. But yeah, okay, two guys, both named Lombard, not from Lombard. And I'm going to tell you why you called today. And the reason you're here, you don't know this is why you're here. The reason you're here is for this story. And this was sent in by our sort of self-appointed vigilante volunteer producer, Russ. And I'm so happy he sent this in because you've spent a lot of time in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, have you not?
I have, for basketball and baseball, yes.
And I have for hockey. So this is, and these are your neighbors.
Essentially, yes. They're my neighbors to the north. Yeah, I would consider it close enough, yes. So I take you to Kenosha County, Wisconsin, and I'm going to rearrange some of the copy here, but this was a story from 620 WTMJ, News Radio, Wisconsin. A woman has been charged with stealing a Pleasant Prairie ambulance. According to a criminal complaint, 36-year-old Emily Fair made 4 unauthorized transmissions over the vehicle's dispatch radio shortly before 1 a.m. on Tuesday. Do you promise me you haven't seen this story? I promise I haven't.
Okay. She can be heard saying, "I'm hungry," and "Do you guys have any food in there?" She was located in the ambulance, in the vehicle, around 2 a.m. near the Gateway Technical College Lakeview Advanced Technology Center.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The GTCLAT. The GTCLATC. GTCLATC. So she was located there in the vehicle. Now we're not done. First of all, I want you to I'm going to repeat the things that she said into the radio and tell me this isn't right out of, if Beavis and Butthead stole an ambulance and there were transmissions from the ambulance, it wouldn't be like, "I'm hungry. Do you guys have any food in there?" Like that's, "I'm hungry." She was located in the vehicle and she reportedly asked the officer, "Are you following me or am I following you?"
Oh boy.
before driving off again. Off she went in the ambulance. Are you following me or am I following you? Yeah. Officers located her for the final time near Frogger's Landing in Pleasant Prairie.
Okay.
Do you know Frogger's Landing?
I don't, but I should though. Is it a bar?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Frogger's Grill and Bar. Okay.
Okay, well, they located her. So they approached the vehicle to find Fair in the driver's seat, completely naked.
Alrighty.
She told officers her dress was in the back of the truck. All right. She claimed to be a firefighter. I'm like a firefighter and stuff. Yeah. Officer. So she said she was allowed to drive the vehicle. So officers allowed her to retrieve her dress from the back before she was taken into custody. Her bond was set at $200. We can put that together, right? Her attorney has ordered a competency hearing. I think that's a good plan. And there is a mugshot. There, if you go to 620 WTMJ, you will see the mugshot. And I will just say that it looks like Emily had a rough night.
Oh, all right. Hang on here. Let's back up real quick. Froggy's Landing. So there's a Frogger's Landing, and it's in Florida. That's the bar and grill. Froggy's Landing in Pleasant Prairie is their little. Okay, so you know the facility in Pleasant Prairie where the baseball fields are, and there's the basketball courts.
Yeah.
So
that is because there's a nuclear plant there. And the company, the power company that owns the nuclear plant, to be allowed to build there, I guess, had to pony up this massive complex for the city. That's why so many of our youth sports events are there.
So on the far side of that complex, like closer towards the highway or where you'd go to Culver's, McDonald's, there's that beach.
Yeah.
Okay. So that beach area is called Froggy's Landing. So that's where she was.
But their copy says Frogger's Landing.
Okay, but Frogger's Landing is a bar and grill in Florida. So I don't think she drove down there. So Froggy's Landing. So they must have just had bad copy on it.
Okay.
Because their official website here for Visit Pleasant Prairie has Froggy's Landing as that little beach area where you can rent paddle boats and canoes and that kind of shit. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where she was, naked in the ambulance at the family-centered beach area.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I guess the expression in the mugshot's really good. It's kind of resigned. It's basically like, yep, well, here I am. Okay, now what?
Does it say anywhere in the story about what she was on, or is this just
no? I guess
mental facility type situation,
or not?
Okay, or just because it's a Tuesday,
maybe just had a night.
Yeah. Okay.
That happens. Are you following me or am I following you? And then she left. And then she peeled off. That's the best part. There's flashing lights behind her, and the cops coming up. She knew something was going on.
Well, somebody answered her and said, "Well, we're following you." And she was like, "All right, let's go. Buckle up. Here we go. Right. I'm taking off again.
So long, suckers.
Be sure to follow me."
Right.
Now, had they said you're following us, then she would have waited. She wouldn't have left again.
Right. I'm waiting for you guys.
So that's the cops' fault.
But they might have said, "Hey, yeah, you're following us. Keep following us." And then they bring her right to the station.
Yeah.
And make it easy. Who knows? But
I would say in today's climate, buddy, she got lucky.
That she
wasn't tased, shot.
Well, it's good to be white. I mean, it's that's never wrong.
No.
That is never wrong. That if you are naked driving an ambulance, be white. It's going to work out better for you.
Yeah.
If you decide to do something like that. That things are all of the risks are immediately lowered. Yep. If you decide, if you get to decide what to be when you steal an ambulance naked and get on the radio, before you do it, try to be white. Yeah. That would just be my suggestion to you. But these are your people, Maddie. These are your friends and your neighbors. These are your people, the people in your neighborhood. These are the people in your neighborhood.
We're gonna have to follow up on this story because I'm curious to hear the reasoning behind it, what all happened, what took place.
Mm-hmm.
So where does it leave off now with her? Is she
I don't know if
out of jail? Is she?
I don't know if they scratched together the $200.
Okay.
Somebody just needs a couple of Benjamins. Plop them down and walk her out.
$200. They should be able to get that together.
If she's still there, somebody you live right there. You can go do it, right? You can go over there.
And then set it up for an exclusive DBU interview.
Yeah. Have Emily come on. We'll talk about life. And I'm sure she's got thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and the WNBA. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be about appropriate for the level of discourse that we're hearing across the spectrum at the moment. All these made-up people are attacking my daughter that doesn't exist. Oh no, what do we do? Oh no, the made-up people. Scary. Ooh, shit. Miss me with all that stuff.
Be careful, you're getting awfully woke.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. Are we okay, by the way? Just need a ruling on this. Supposed to go to the Cub game today, even though it's supposed to pour. What's the ruling on Jason wearing a Starlin Castro real Cubs jersey?
What's the question behind it?
Is that okay?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. He kind of asked, he's like, Dad, you don't wear team stuff, and especially to events. I said, you do whatever you want, bro.
I think 100% he should wear a Cubs jersey, and definitely a Starlin Castro jersey, and he shouldn't be asking you if he should wear or can wear it.
He was just being courteous because he knows that I regardless of situation, I don't wear team stuff out because I kind of think it's just kind of inappropriate. But high school stuff, yeah, that's what this is.
Why do you think it's inappropriate?
I don't know. I've always found it weird, and it's kind of been my thing. One time, I've only worn a team clothing on one show ever, I think. And it was
even like a White Sox t-shirt you wouldn't wear?
It was the day after the White Sox won the World Series. And we were at Harry Carey's, and I wore my game-worn Ivan Calderon jersey.
Oh, God. You remember that day?
I do.
Remember the fights I got in? Trying to keep people off the mic? Off stage?
Oh, my God.
Remember that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I was like, hey, thanks for coming by, but you're not coming up during this show. Sorry. There's the door or there's the bar. Pick one, because you ain't coming up on this show.
Yeah, there were people like I forget. Was it all just like Sox, or was it like Bernstein sucks?
Do you not remember? It was internal.
No. Oh, it was at North?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
And I was like, you can't. I'm like, sorry, pal, it's not happening, man.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that ended up being a big thing
because he was drunk.
I mean, he was celebrating. And he was off work. I mean, yeah, of course, go get fucking hammered, man. Your team just won the World Series.
But it's like you're off work.
He's like, I'm gonna come on and visit with Dan and Terry. I'm like, no, you're not. It's not. Sorry, man, it's not happening.
And he was that
turned into a thing. Yeah, that turned into a thing.
He threatened to.
It was for his own good, though. Too. You don't.
I know. You were like, dude, you're not in a condition to go on the air.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it wouldn't have been good. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, he was down, but we were up, and we were nose to nose, and I'm
but it was physical. Like you guys were like squared off.
Really wanted to come on, and listen, I never had an issue or a beef with North. I never worked with. I auditioned for a show for that week or so. Me, Jesse, Fred.
Yeah.
And he was always kind to me. We always had a good relationship. So there was nothing there more to it than just. It was just in the moment, and it just wouldn't have been a good look for him. So
no, I think you were looking out for everybody involved.
Yeah. So, oh God, that was funny. We've never talked about that. I would love to catch up with him and talk, and just have a laugh about it, because I've done that with McNeil about a couple. Like I've mentioned it here on our podcast where the first Blackhawks parade. When I did the whole thing about they pulled up, they dug up dead guys and put them on the bus, and he hung up on me. So we've been able to laugh about it. I'm sure North and I would do the same thing. So there was nothing more to it than just that moment, but it got pretty intense.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
As I was trying to enjoy my bowl of homemade potato chips from Harry Carey's, had to keep North off the stage.
Yeah, I would, because I always remember that. That was the day, like, you know what? I'm gonna wear my White Sox. If I can't wear my White Sox jersey today, what's the point of any of this? Was
See,
kind
I
of
think
what I
that's
said to myself.
I think that's like I get it because it's you and I get how your brain works. But I mean, that's weird though, because like you're doing a radio show. Like if you were going to a game as a reporter wearing a jersey, I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't deserve this job. But doing a radio show or a podcast, you can wear whatever the fuck you want.
I don't know, because do you remember how much we would make fun of Nasty Nestor? Remember we'd be at the Super Bowl?
I mean, there was more than just wearing jerseys. There, I mean, that was the whole package.
No, but when you go to the Super Bowl and you see all of these sports talker guys like, I wear jerseys, and I'm wearing another, and I have this jersey custom made, and it says Nasty on the back, and I'm just like, ugh. Or if some team would give me a jersey that said Bernstein on it. I'd be like,
Yeah, we got those really cool Blackhawks jerseys with the old logo on it with our names on them. We had that sweet night. I still have that jersey, but I've never worn it out of the house.
Give it to your kids. Like, and actually, the one they gave me that giant Blackhawks jersey that said 670. It was like a double XL.
Oh yeah, that was.
And and so Jason wore it to it was a great practice jersey for him.
Oh, as a goalie, sure.
Yeah, because it was and big and floppy, and it absorbed a bunch of pucks in practice. He loved it.
Yeah, I think I had I had other issues with guys like that and Nasty Nestor, but I think if you're doing a talk show and you don't make a point about it, but you wear a jersey, I don't think there's an issue.
It's probably fine. I know.
Yeah, it's definitely fine. Yeah,
I'm not going to die on that hill. It's just the way my mind works.
Yeah, but your kid should wear a Starlin Castro jersey, 100%.
Okay, he's definitely going to wear it. And and the other thing too is I did tell him that in hockey practice he should wear a tighter jersey and not a looser jersey, because that is a time where you should make things more difficult on yourself. I think in practice, it's just like if you're practicing putting, you want to putt to a smaller hole. If you're practicing hitting, you want to hit small, use a broomstick.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
So I said, yeah, if when you're practicing in the game, it should feel easier because you practice with less fabric on.
Well, because when you were a kid growing up and like golfing, and then you were on the putting green to practice, your dad would throw golf balls at you, right?
Oh, in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, constantly, because I had to be so good at golf. I still can't beat my dad. Oh, by the way, it's my mom's birthday.
Oh, today is?
Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh,
happy birthday. Mom and Aunt Joyce. Happy birthday.
Aunt Joyce.
Yeah, they're identical twins.
Oh, I didn't know your mom was a twin.
Yeah.
Oh. Is Aunt Joyce as nice as your mom? Is that possible?
Yes.
Or did she get all the mean genes?
That's why Aunt Joyce's
Not
kids.
Mean Gene, but mean genes.
No, Aunt Joyce's kids are the Blacks. So my cousins.
Oh, so you guys are essentially brothers.
We are genetically closer to.
I don't think I knew that.
Half brothers, because our moms have the same DNA. Yeah.
I mean, I still like them the least of your family, but I mean, like, yeah, your Aunt Joyce sounds great.
Yeah, you like one of them the least until you've got a knife sticking out of your
medical
chest.
Emergency.
Yeah.
All right, so I didn't know your mom was a twin. Well, happy birthday! She's just the most lovely lady ever. Our trip to Arizona, when we visited their house, I think it was Frank Thomas's house they rented.
They did,
and she's pulling fresh lemons off the lemon tree in the front yard to make homemade, like hand squeezed vodka lemonades for me and Jason. Yes.
Yep.
Would you boys care for some fresh squeezed lemonade with vodka? Well, yeah, we would. Of course we would.
Oh, God.
I mean, we'd like it with jarred lemon juice at this point. I mean, it's fine.
You can hold the lemon juice.
Yeah, you can just give us the vodka and your rug and the hat off the wall, too.
And 2 handles of booze.
Yes, there was a handle of Captain and a handle of Jack that was in that liquor cabinet.
And my mom is like, take whatever you want.
Yes.
Sure thing. Oh,
remember when she was like, she told your dad to get the hot tub ready in case we came back with friends.
Yes, she did.
Bruce, the boys are going out. Get the hot tub ready in case they want to come back later.
Right.
Okay.
And I was like, Mom, no.
Yes, Mom. Yes.
Mom, you don't know what you're doing. These are not my high school friends we're talking about here. This is a different level.
Dangerous individuals here, Mom.
There will be people coming back here with guns. You don't understand.
No, that we never made it back. That was the night that Jay and I were trying to get back to the hotel, and
you fell asleep in the car.
No, he was driving. We fell asleep back at the hotel, but he was driving, and we asked another guy in a car for directions, and the guy rolls his window down, and Jason's driving, the black guy, and says, "Hey, do you know how to get back to this place?" And the guy's like, "I don't speak no English."
Right.
And then he rolled up the window, and Jason and I were like, "Okay."
That guy, you should have asked. That guy was not interested in talking to Jason at that point.
He was not.
I don't give directions to black people. I got one direction for you. You don't want to hear it.
Right. Go to hell. That's the direction.
Right. Unless you want the directions to hell, don't ask me.
Oh, that was something.
That wasn't the same night that we went to that sketchy ass bar and the bartender was like doing cartwheels.
No, that was a different night. That was the doing
trip.
cartwheels with the same trip and doing cartwheels and had the C-section scar. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but I kind of like that bar.
I thought you were going to say, but yeah, I kind of liked her though.
No.
You liked the bar. The bar was great. Yeah, the bar was great.
Yeah, we had a tendency to find, if you collected some of our like accidental bar finds, like when we're walking home from something and like see a neon in the distance.
Yeah,
and
a neon or an old style sign.
Yes, and walk. It wouldn't be. No, we walk across the desert and like we go in there. It is a Tarantino movie.
Yes.
And some of the ones in like Kankakee or like out of the way joints where everybody in there looks like an alien.
Yeah, the regulars have their bar stools and they're missing facial features, like one guy without a nose or a guy without an ear.
Yeah. Guy without a nose. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that was a great night. So happy birthday to your mom, because wow, what a lovely lady. So
yes, happy birthday.
Come on over here, sweetheart.
That is Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. And today brought to you by Chicago Window Guys. Call Russ Armstrong when you need windows. I made up this jingle as I went along. 847-302-9171 and check out his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.